What's up, guys? It's Mark Russell, ISA certified arborist, licensed insurance adjuster, and this is the tips with Hurricane Helene coming in. I'm wanting to protect my family. I'm wanting to protect your family. So I'm going to make a video after 30 years of being in this industry and literally, guys, doing thousands of fallen trees and insurance claims. This is what I'm doing to prepare for Hurricane Helene. We're going to talk about insurance claims basics, how to keep your family safe, what I'm doing to prepare to keep the lights on and be able to connect with guys like you, and also with y'all, and how to keep your family safe. So let's just dive in real quick and figure out, hey, why are we even talking about this? So we're going to jump to the screen here, and let's go first off, guys, over to this is NOAA's site. As this hurricane, we'll zoom out just a little bit. We see it's down near Cancun right now, as of 10 a.m. today. As it comes across Florida in 36 hours, it's going to be at 150 mile an hour, 55 mile an hour gusts, ridiculously crazy. But what is catching my eye as a seasoned pro, guys, let me just emphasize Hurricane Zeta 2020. That's what I think might be about to happen all throughout Georgia. So let me just show you. Okay, so we're going to jump in here and we're going to look at exactly what that means. So if we're at 155 mile an hour there, when it goes over North Atlanta, we're at 60 miles an hour wind speed, maximum wind gusts up to 70. Now, I don't know if it takes into consideration what I'm about to show you. So it just real quick so that you understand, between these two dots here and there is a 12-hour time frame. Now, I've already measured that out. It's approximately 315, I don't know if you can see that on your screen, 315 miles. So then I asked ChatGPT, if a storm moves 315 miles in 12 hours, how fast is it going? Thank goodness that this blue-collar dude has some ChatGPT. 26.25 miles per hour. Why is that important? Because of what I'm about to show you. And that is right here. This is Venture Sky, guys. We're dealing with wind speed. Let's go ahead and hit it up on the gusts. And we're gonna go in here and watch. Real quick, guys, you guys get most of this from the weatherman, but I'm just gonna pop through this so you can see it. Okay. This is what I'm watching personally coming up. Okay, so there we have it hit. Now we got 12 hours. So we come across 4, 5, 6. We're down there, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so now we're in the Atlanta area and we're hitting 38 mile an hour gusts. Guys, this is at the 1 hour. If you do the clustered model where it we're at 58 mile an hour gusts. Like there is some, it may go way off to the right, but that's using the automatic model. If we go to the gym model over here, okay, if we do gym model, it brings it way to the left and slows it down just a bit, and it brings a lot of that wind over further. So I'm preparing, and let me show you how I'm preparing. So the first thing is, well, let's just talk safety. Now, for me, and just a second, guys, let me move this over here. For me, I have to make sure, and by the way, guys, here in a second, we're going to go over the miscommunications. The Tree Care Industry Association had me write up the miscommunications about insurance claims. We're going to do that here in just a second. And again, if any of this is helpful, guys, I would ask, please share this with, just share it here in Atlanta. It's going to have some great tips. I'm going to put that link in the description for this video. But let's keep on going. Okay, so the first thing that I'm doing, personally, my wife is down in Alpharetta picking up the Starlink. My son just fired up the generator. We just got 10 gallons of fuel. Why is that for us? It's important because I think we're going to be out of power to a certain degree. I don't care about air conditioning. What I care about is making sure my phone is functional so that we can send that piece of equipment out to you guys if you happen to need it. This is the cranes and everything, and we'll get into that in a second, but this is the gear that we have. We do tons and tons and tons of trees on houses, and that's actually literally tons. So anyway, so the first thing we're doing is we're doing Starlink. We've got our Starlink. We've gotten some fuel. Okay, we got 10 gallons of fuel. We're gonna get some food, whatever, from Kroger. We're gonna fill up our tanks, all of our extra diesels. We're prepping our tires, and this is all tree guy stuff, right? But for you guys, if I was gonna recommend anything to anybody, obviously the food stuff. I don't think Atlanta will be out of power for so long that it's gonna be that problematic, short of like some isolated tornadoes. But here's what I really wanted to show you is for you and your family's safety. This is literally where I'm sitting. I'm 833 Roper Road. And why do I bring that up? Well, if you notice, I literally have made a career of pulling trees off houses, and sometimes they're scary, like for real scary. Like to the point where after I've done so many of these, I'll just show you guys, I'm a little bit biased, but I'm like literally sitting right there. I choose to live near these little whippy guys. Okay. And you can see it from the air. Okay. These little guys, I don't know if you can tell, but they're not tall like those guys. Okay. If we spin this around, you might be able to see how those are shorter. They're not big and tall like those. The reason I'm saying that, guys, is you guys are like, well, what do I do for my family? And so here's what I'm gonna say. The things that I get concerned about that I've seen before are trees like that. Okay. Anytime you get specifically big, gigantic trees where the head can cross the house. If you remember, this is dating myself a little, but remember back in elementary school when the teacher needed to cut a bunch of paper and they had that scissor chopper plate thing? That's what trees do to houses when the head goes past. Okay, so you want to stay away from that situation, obviously, as much as possible. Let's just look real quick. I want to bring you guys to look at we can go literally anywhere. Let's just plop down on a map anywhere. This is going to probably be fine. Okay, and we're just going to look at some areas that you want to be careful. Like this house right here, guys, this isn't a big risk. But maybe I wouldn't be hanging out right there with that tree looming over. Okay? The one thing I guess that I would kind of take caution on, or two things. Here's what I'm going to tell you guys. Two things that I've noticed over the years is corners. Corners are not like any corner. Because if a tree is near the house and it hits that corner, it causes the tree head to, like, it can just open a house up. Unfortunately, there was someone who died with this exact situation, I think 2 storms ago, but it was this year. It's really tragic. I think it was a grandma, and she was in the back left corner. Tree passed by the house. House opened up. She came down with it. And we don't want that ever to repeat itself. That's number one. The second thing is, literally, guys, and I can probably find one pretty easy, is stay downstairs during the major wind. There's not a lot of need to go upstairs. Maybe I'm not going to find one. I thought I could. There's not a lot of need to go upstairs. I'm going to leave it right here because this one is important. Where did it go? It's this one right here because it was a boat. There's not a lot of need to go upstairs during a major event. It's family camp out time. Go downstairs, get to the center of the house, and don't hang out. Like the corners, like where a tree could fall that way, those are the areas that get hit. Looking from satellite, the outside corners of the house. So any corner, and then get downstairs. That's the best thing I can tell you. That's number one. And the second thing, let's see. The second thing, safety-wise, and this is a big deal. And this is why I left. Let me just bring this over before I go into it. I'm going to leave this link in the description. Misconceptions about trees and claims. I wrote this article. Tree Care Industry Association had me write it up. It talks about coverage, talks about a loss of peril and coverage A, coverage B, debris hauling. and your duties after a loss. In fact, I'm going to go into that here in just a second. Let's see, where were we at? We talked, oh my gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. I've shot this 5 times. You're going to have to deal with me a little bit. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember where I'm at. Let's talk. I've negotiated hundreds of claims. I'm going to skip around and you're going to have to track with me. One thing sometimes that insurance carriers will say is, oh, it's just on a fence. There's no coverage there. Or, and this is a safety issue, and this is the thing that I wanted to bring up. A lot of times when you call insurance, I don't know whether it's from from multi-layers of management or whether it's them trying to save money. When you talk to them over the phone, they'll say, oh, you only have $500 to remove the tree. And it's a pet peeve of mine because over the years, I've seen lots of homeowners literally die because they went outside because they thought that there wasn't enough money to remove the tree. And I don't know if it's deception on the part of the insurance companies because I'm not in their upper management sending down word from on high to the frontline sales reps or phone customer service who say that line to homeowners. But I know the effect. And the effect is oftentimes, and this is why I had this saved, oftentimes you'll get a job like this where there's like, I don't know, I mean, this one's a little bit bigger because it was on the pool, but sometimes it's just on the fence alone. Okay, and so what will happen is the carrier will say, oh, it's just on a fence. You only have $500. And what they're talking about, guys, if we go over to debris hauling, okay, in most cases, debris hauling is its own separate coverage.
Barrage. Typically, debris hauling for residential policies varies from 5.
Please stop talking. I'm so sorry. That was very intrusive. My internet wanted to start talking here. Okay, so basically it's a coverage, and they list off that coverage. But what they don't talk about, guys, is, oh yeah, well, maybe there's $500, but the problem is there's also a gigantic, or there's not a gigantic, but there's gigantic tools that are needed to perform that work, like a bobcat. And that's more money. And they know that. They know it. And so why I'm saying this, guys, like I said, I've seen a lot of homeowners get scared because they're like, oh, honey, we only have 500. And so the power's out, the husband's bored, and he's not going to work. So it's like time to fire up the saw. There was a guy up in Connecticut 10 years ago who did this exact thing, went up on the roof and fell off and died, and the girl grew up without a dad. There was another elderly couple that the adjuster literally said to the couple, well, go up on the roof and go ahead and take it off the roof and get a tarp on the roof. Never should that happen. Second thing I wanted to talk to you about is duties after a loss, and it's actually in here, misconceptions. And this is the thing about the limit of the $500. That's the nut. I'm so glad I caught myself before I was going too deep into that. This is the thing about the misconceptions, the limit that there's a $500 to remove. Second thing is duties after a loss. If you have a tree hit a house, believe it or not, this is kind of crazy, but Georgia is not a right to repair state. What that means is the insurance company can't force you to get your house taken care of. They can't put someone on your property. You're in control of that. So in the fine print, you actually have warranted to the carrier that you will perform your duties after a loss to mitigate against further damage. In other words, it's the exact opposite. You don't have to ask permission. You actually have told them, we are going to move in a reasonably expeditious manner to protect. It's not just your property, it's their property. Because if you don't act and more water comes in, they have to pay. So they have a financial part in your property. My point is this: sometimes people will just be petrified, deer in the headlights, and just water will be pouring in. They're like, I can't get in touch with my adjuster. Don't let that happen to you, because feasibly, because you've signed, they could literally say, we're sorry, you didn't perform your duties after a loss as is clearly dictated in your policy. You're in breach of contract, denial of coverage. That could happen. That's not out of the realm of possibility. Okay, I'm gonna not go through every single thing. Maybe I'll just briefly touch on it. A homeowner needs to get multiple estimates. That's not when you're mitigating. Like we give all of our rates hourly. We have this thing called Clarity Market that we can send. All when we do a job, we understand what the scope is, and then we can do the estimates as to what other companies would charge for those exact line items. Like 300 miles worth, we can put it in so that you don't have to like take your time when there's a tree on your house. You can get it done. We can build the estimates after. Stump grinding, sometimes it is covered. And let's see, tree didn't cause that much damage, so it's not covered. That was what we were talking about with this, guys, is with, like if it was just over a little bitty fence, you would think, oh, well, that's just not enough. The fence itself isn't very much. Well, the equipment to pull it off the fence is more money. And then finally, oh my gosh, Russell, land the plane. Hold on, guys. Take a breath, Russell. Trees across driveways are never covered. That's not true. Sometimes they are. So I'm going to leave the link. Guys, let me just land the plane here at this. This right here is my non-texting but emergency line. Come Thursday night, I probably won't sleep. I'm going to be taking calls. The way that we work is real simple. In fact, I will just show you if you're still bearing with me. 770 Arborist. The way that we work is super simple. This is my webpage. You click that button, and this is our contract, and it's super easy. We are first signed, first serve. And the way it works is, let me move this real quick so you can see. The way it works is effectively, this is all of our pricing per hour, and that's it. So you sign it, and whoever signs up first, we deliver all of that stuff to pull the tree off. Guys, that was actually my biggest claim down in Atlanta, and it was a doozy of a job. Because I'm still looking at that one going, gosh, that was a couple really scary big trees. We got the equipment, guys, to get it handled. Please share this video if it's been helpful. We built this content specifically for you to be able to share it with anybody, whether it's in Atlanta or not. We're starting the storm off in Atlanta, but we may end up in Macon or Augusta or maybe down in Florida. Either way, we love you. We're here to serve you. Please stay safe and don't put your family out underneath hangers. Your insurance company is there to take care of you if you have any damage. That's what they're there for. Oh, I'll leave you with one last thought. This is what I'm going to leave you with. You guys paid for insurance. This is the time that you're actually entitled to get compensated to stay safe. And above all else, I think that that's the thing I want to leave you with, because I would encourage you not to get scared. I get the times that we're in. I get that it feels chaotic with the elections and everything. But this is the time when you pay for insurance and a tree hits your house. They're not going to pay your medical bill. They're not going to pay your kid's medical bill or your dad's medical bill. Hire pros. I hope I've explained all of these nuances. Read the article, share it, because I know I'm going to have work regardless, but after seeing multiple people lose their lives since 97, if I can do anything to keep some people safe, that's what we want to do. You got my number here. Check out the article. We'd love to serve you, and if you could share it. Y'all take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.